Hello everybody, Elderberry Syrup here, and welcome back to Let's Play Season 2 of Direwolf 2119. We spent the last few episodes building this contraption in Create. It is to automate all the things, or whatever we would like it to automate that it can. And that's been a lot of fun, it really has. That has taken a lot of time, a lot of episodes. So what we're going to do now is move on to some more Create. Yep, I understand. But we're going to be using the Schematicannon. 100% gotta use the Schematicannon. And what I did was I went into my test world where I built a mob farm. And once building the mob farm, I copied the schematic. So it's kind of like a copy paste gadget in a sense. Where would we like to put this mob farm? Should we put it up here just because we can? I think we will. It kind of needs to float though. Yeah, we could probably put it right there. So what we're going to do, we place down the schematic table and find the schematic we want, which is right here. EBSU create mob farm. Yeah, I went through a few iterations of this. And we're going to go ahead and hit the check mark on that. Once that's done, we'll get a printed schematic. Just like such. We set this down. And we use the schematic. And hovering like this, it shows us an outline. Yeah, it's kind of big. All right. That's kind of a big footprint. But I think it'll be all right. Because if we do that, you can see that it's not actually on the ground. It doesn't actually take up as much space. It's just the outline of it because of things like that. Now, this did not print it. It is just ghost blocks right now. So the next thing you do, you take your cannon, place it somewhere relatively close, which this should work right here. Place that schematic in there, and then get you a book. Now this book, you place right there, and now you have your material checklist. And that's going to show you all the items that you need. One thing that we don't need is... Oh, the acacia wood. We don't need the acacia wood, because I use those just as markers. So let me grab a barrel, at sophisticated barrel. Oh, there we go. And we actually need this to be upgraded because we need this to be quite large. So let me get a couple of these upgraded. All right. So yeah, I'm going to get all these materials together. And we'll be back as soon as I do. So I had to stop gathering resources because as I was like, this is not the right set of resources. So I copied the correct schematic with the proper blocks on it. And I'm going to go ahead and start collecting those resources. All right, so that should be the end of the materials we need. You throw your items into an adjacent. It has to be touching this thing. And throw your book back in, and it'll show you what you are still missing. In this case, we don't need the stripped acacia woods, and we sure don't need the bat spawn eggs. So now all we have to do is get us some gunpowder. We'll grab 2 stacks because I don't know how much it'll actually take. 1 stack inside here, 1 stack in there. Building options. We want to don't replace solid blocks. And then skip missing blocks because we have some blocks that are obviously not there. Protect entities. Yeah, we'll leave that on. And then we hit start and let's Nothing? Play? Aha! And there it goes. Placing the things down. Even those are not the color of the barrels, so they did change the color of the barrels that were in there. But it should just build this whole thing up. Right, so there she is. You might notice some differences in from the final clip to this. I changed some aesthetics. I was not liking the way I had it, so I put clear glass on the sides here so that we can see through. And yeah, so what has to be done to get this going is super glue. You have to super glue all the drills together, and then the center drill needs to be super glued to this linear chassis right here. Once that's done, you can turn it on and it spins around. Now this glass is all in a weird shape because that is a square going in a circle, and this is the only way to keep the mobs completely contained in therein. I went ahead and changed out the diamond barrels, which for some reason I was using purple diamond barrels and it turned them to this. You can't even create that. So that's a little weird that the cannon did something like that. But yet you get both of those rotating. Up here, you use super glue to this entire shaft going all the way through. You'll have to do it in a couple different stages because you can't go that full length. We have down here an electric motor hooked up to our flux network. We have a redstone link with the receiving, and up here is the transmitting on a 1600 tick rotation. Let me see if I can reach it. The sequence gear shift there is I have it going out 20 meters, coming back 20 meters. It cannot go in either direction that far, but it will go out as far as it can and come back as far as it can. So it always ends back up in its correct spot right here. Now on the inside, went ahead and put some wool on the elevator. On the inside, this is your mob farm area. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to go get some rotten eggs to place in those 4 squares. And in here, where you see these different tiles, this is the location of which you would want to place a spawner. Now, I recommend on your spawners, so you have to dig out both of those, but I recommend on your spawners to place a comparator inside. That allows it to have redstone control. You see on the left, the very last thing is redstone control, so that it's off by default, and you have to put a lever. Yep, we got plenty of levers right here. Put a lever on there to start it up. You can even make it to where this is all spawners and not this, but I don't recommend putting spawners any further out than where these are, because then you risk them spawning outside, especially if you do things like ignore spawn conditions. So let's see, what else was there? Okay, so down here is just the viewing bay to watch everything get crushed. So let's gather up some rotten eggs and we'll be right back. All right, so take your rotten egg, make sure you find the center block of that 5x5 square, and boom, rotten egg. Or cursed earth, dreadful dirt. Keep calling it cursed earth, you know, old school. Utilities, I think, extra utilities or something like that. All right, so all that's left is turn this thing on. All we got to do is flip this lever. It gives a redstone signal to all those. Oh, don't want to be there. And no. Oh, it's a good thing it's a claim chunk. Let's flip that off. So it's going down twice. There we go. All right. And the summoned wolves got down there somehow. Oh, are they trying to track me? They track the walls? Anyway, we'll know it's going once that shaft right there starts rotating. And we'll watch it from down here first, and then we'll go outside and watch the rotation. And here it goes. Here comes, that's the halfway mark. And here comes the wall pushing everything off. You know, all just like a regular mob farm, water pushing them down. There's an ender inhibitor up there, so the enderman cannot go away, except we probably need to put one down though as well. The spiders are going to be your biggest issue with the mob farm like this, because they are going to spawn, and sometimes they're just going to do that right there. Now, a couple ways to fix that or prevent that from happening. Oh yeah, let's turn this thing off. Oh wait, no, we want to watch a rotation. We can turn the lights on and watch a rotation through the glass. There we go. A way to prevent the spiders from being like that, along the walls, you can place trapdoors. They cannot climb up trapdoors when they're closed. So just a flat wall of trapdoors all the way across. And because we are in modded Minecraft, there are other panels and such See if we can find some before. Oh, there it goes. I love watching it. It's great. It's great. Oh, it's so great. Yeah, you get a couple stuck right there, but whatever, right? They'll walk around and they'll eventually get squashed. And those dudes got aggroed by me. That's the only reason they're flying. So it's a double-sided, you know, drop the bad guys down situation. Let's get a couple more inhibitors while we're doing this. Ooh, perfect. And place those in here. Right there, that'll be fine. Just to keep these guys from being able to teleport. Where'd he go? Alright, as long as he's not around here. Yep, I do love this kind of mob farm. It's just fun to build and fun to watch. So there you go. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions for the mob farm, please drop a comment below. That's always greatly appreciated. I read all comments. So I would greatly appreciate that if you have an idea. And yeah, there we go. So until next time, this is Elderberry Syrup wishing you a wonderful day. Take care.